So next time we're going to configure a trap in IMC. The trap we're going to generate using a utility called TrapGen, which is a freeware software you can download from the internet. The trap we're going to configure is using the following parameters. So we've got the address we're sending the trap to, so in this case it's the IP address of our IMC server. We've got the enterprise ID of the trap. We've got the agent address that we want the trap to simulate. So again, in this case it's going to be the IP address of our IMC server. It's an enterprise specific trap, which is trap type 6, and the specific trap number is 23. Small complication here is when you configure traps in network management tools, because they change the generic trap numbers between version 1 and version 2, most management tools have to have some standard way of configuring a trap, i.e. if this trap were to come in as a version 1 trap, then the generic trap number would be 6 for enterprise specific. But if it comes in as a version 2 trap, then the specific trap number would be 0 for enterprise specific. So when we configure this in IMC, IMC takes care of the problem because IMC will convert the trap to a version 1 format, and we'll see that when we configure it. So when you want to configure the trap, the trap has a thing called a trap OID. So here I've got a packet trace of this particular trap. The trap OID for a trap is the amalgamation of the enterprise number in the trap, the generic trap number, which in this case is a 6, but because it's a version 2 trap, we send it in with a 0, and then the specific trap number, which is 23. So this number here is what we call the trap OID of a trap, and we can see this from a packet trace. So there you can see that when that trap sent across the network cable, this is what it looks like. The version 2 SNMP notification, it's got the standard notification variables in it. So the first couple are the time ticks, which is the number of seconds the box has been up that day. We've then got the trap OID number. So the trap OID number is 136141226933023, as we have here. Then we've got the varbinds that come in with the trap. So the varbinds, this trap's got 2 varbinds. So we've got varbind 1 and varbind 2. Okay, so to configure this trap in IMC, we go to IMC, we go to Alarm, Trap Management, and we want to go into Trap Definition. Okay, it's always a good practice to see if you've got the trap already configured. So we can do that by either typing in the trap number, or we can type in the enterprise ID of the trap to see if we've got any other traps from the same vendor. So I go into enterprise ID, type in the enterprise number, which is that, click query, and we see we haven't got any. So to proceed to configure it, we click on the add button, and then from here we put in the trap OID, which was, again, the 3 numbers mixed together, so 13614122693 22 963, great, 963 dot, it's an enterprise specific trap, so I'm going to put in a 0.23, and we'll see what IMC will do with this number when we save it. So we type that in, okay, that's looking good. Now we give the trap a name, so I'm going to call this trap UPS failure. Then the enterprise name, normally we would identify the enterprise number with a name. So in this particular case, this enterprise number is the enterprise number for a company called Vail Technology. I'm going to give it a severity of major. And then when the trap comes into the trap browser, we have description, trap cause, and remediation suggestions. So these are 3 bits of information that whoever's looking at the trap can work with to try and identify what's going on. So in the description, we normally say, what does the trap mean? So in this case, we're going to say signifies a UPS failure. In the trap cause, I'm going to say that normally caused by a faulty battery. in the suggested I'm going to say check stroke replace battery. When the trap comes in, the trap had these two var bindings associated with it. So what I want to do is I want to turn them into parameters. So I click on set parameter, click add, give the parameter a name. So I'm going to call this UPS message, and I'm going to pick up this var bind number here. Click on octet string, click OK, and then I'm going to add the second parameter. I'm going to call this UPS number. Second number, which is this one here. It's an integer, so that's fine, and I click OK on that. Click OK, and you can see that what it's actually done with the number is it's converted the trap OID number to a version 1 format. So that's how we get consistency. If a trap comes in as a version 1 format, that's the number it would create. If it comes in as a version 2 format, as we've seen in the Wireshark capture, IMC will convert the number. IMC knows what version the trap is because it's in the trap header. So there you can see it says whether it's a version 1 or version 2 trap. So version 1 traps, it won't do any conversion on the generic number. Version 2 traps, it will convert them to the version 1 format. Okay, so now that we've got the trap saved, the next thing we want to do is we want to test it. So we go to trap alarm, trap management, and we go to browse traps. Okay, and we type in the IP address of the box that the trap will relate to, so 192.168.2.52. Click query, so we've just got a filter on it. So these are some traps that have previously come in. I'm going to generate the new trap, and the command I'm going to run is I'm going to go into wherever I've got the TrapGen software installed, then I just type TrapGen space -f, the name of the file. So in this case the file is called example trap. So I'm just going to say that. So I have to run this command on the device that I want to pretend the trap has come from. So in this case I'm going to go to my IMC server, and I'm just literally going to run the command I've typed in there. And there we go. So the new trap has come in. Now, what we haven't got at the moment is that trap appearing in the alarm browser. So if I wanted to appear on the node details record for this device, or I want to be able to notify, send it as a notification, then what I need to do is I need to convert it to an alarm before I can do that. So to convert this trap to an alarm, there's a number of ways of doing it. Probably the easiest is to open up the trap by clicking on the description, and then from here I can go to escalate to alarms. So that's escalate to alarms, and I'm going to say UPS failure. So UPS failure trap, and we can see that it's put in the parameters automatically. So we've got the IP address that it's come from. Normally I probably want to take that out. If I want this trap to be an alarm from any source, I would empty that or select it and press the delete key. I'm going to leave it in there for the time being, and then down in the trap type it's specified that it's only going to, the trap type has to be the one that we configured, which was UPS failure. Click OK. We have the option if we want to put time ranges on it. I'm going to leave it as is. Okay, small little complication here. By default in IMC, traps, once they come in, if a second trap comes in, it suppresses the duplicates. So for testing purposes, I'm going to switch that feature off on the trap which I've just defined. So to do that, I go to Alarm, Trap Management, Filter Trap. So that's Trap Management, Filter Trap. Click on Duplicate Trap Filter, go to the Modify icon, And then these are the list of the traps which currently it will allow duplicates for. I need to add mine to the list, so I click on the select button, and I can filter on it. So probably the easiest way for me to do this, I'm just going to filter on any traps that relate to that enterprise ID. So take that enterprise ID, click there, click query, we've got failed technology, click on UPS failure, click OK, and click OK. So just to recap, if I didn't do that, then it will just suppress these traps unless they're different from the previous instance of it, i.e. that one of the varbind values had a different value in it. So now if I go to alarm browse, real-time alarms, and if I filter on that particular device, I'm just going to remove that trap which is currently there. Okay, send it in again. And there we go. So there's our trap has come in. And now that we've converted it to an alarm, we can now send that trap if we want to send it as an email notification. So to do that, we just go to alarm, alarm settings, alarm notification, and then from here we click on add, so we can call it forward UPS failures, put in the email address we want to forward it to, and then we can specify here whether we only want to forward traps or alarms that have a certain severity, they come from certain devices. In this case I'm just going to select that I only want to forward it if it's that specific trap. So click select, again I'm just going to filter on the enterprise number, just down there, query, select my trap, click OK. I can also decide I only want to forward this trap if it comes in during certain time ranges. I'm just going to leave that as the default and click OK. Right, I need to click add here, let's get it in the list, and click OK. So that's how we configure a trap in IMC from start to finish. So you configure as a trap definition to see it in the trap browser. You can then convert it to an alarm if you want to forward it as a notification, or if you want to see it with the device details page. So if I go to device view, click on my device, which in this case is that device there, and then we can see that these alarms are being listed in the alarm tab. Okay, next thing I want to do is I want to simulate recovery traps. So this is where I get that trap when the UPS is down, and then I get this trap when the UPS has recovered. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to configure the second trap, and I'm going to call it UPS recovery. I am then going to set up a restore configuration. So this is where I'm going to say that when I get the trap 23, which signifies UPS failure, and then if I get a trap 24, which signifies UPS recovery, that the trap failure will get closed or recovered. I only want to do that though if the traps relate to the same UPS. So in this example here, I'm saying that this varbind specifies the UPS number. So we only want to relate them together if they both have the same varbind number this number here, and the value is the same in both cases. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into this existing trap configuration, and I'm going to configure this as what we call a key set parameter. I will then configure this trap, the second one down here. Again, I'm going to specify that I want to use that as the key set parameter, and then I'm going to convert this trap to an alarm, so I need an alarm for both cases. And then what will happen is when we get this alarm coming in and then we get this alarm, if this alarm has the same varbind value in this case, then it will acknowledge it or delete it. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to go back into IMC Trap Management. First thing I'm going to do is define that as a key parameter. Trap definition. Again, I'll just do a search on the enterprise ID. Click on the modify button. Okay, and what I need to do, unfortunately, is I need to delete this and then re-add it. So that's the varbind that I want to set up as the key value. I'm just going to copy that, so keep the same name. Delete. Click OK. Add. Put in the parameter name. Put in the OID number, which is that one there. And what I need to specify is the data type. So in this case it is an integer, and I want to use it as a key parameter. So click OK, and then click Save. OK again. Right, now I want to define the recovery trap, so I click Add, click on the trap OID, which is so it will be the enterprise number, generic trap number 24, and I'm going to call it UPS recovery. The enterprise name is going to be again Veil Technology. This time I'm just going to make it an info trap, and I'm going to say signifies UPS has recovered from battery failure. Okay, so again I need to define the parameters, so click Add. First parameter I want to define is UPS message, and the OID number for that is this one here. That's an octet string. Click OK. And then I want to define the UPS number. The OID number is this one here. It's an integer, and I want to define this as being the key set parameter. So save it, click OK. Now, I want to set up a relationship between this trap and the failure trap. So I'm going to say that when this trap comes in, I want IMC to restore or clear the UPS failure traps, but only if they both have the same varbind, this varbind here, and it's got the same value. So to do that, we click on the restore trap, select the trap that we want to use this one to restore or recover. UPS failure, click OK. Now, when I'm going to save this, IMC will only allow it to be saved if we have defined the same set parameters in both. So we'll just check if there's a sanity check, so that looks good. Okay, next thing I want to do is I need to turn this recovery trap into an alarm. So the alternative way of doing that is I'm going to go to alarm, trap to alarm, so trap management, trap to alarm, and then I click add, find the trap that I want to set up. So I'm going to call this UPS recovery. Okay, so UPS recovery. Specify the trap type. So we're going to say that if match, then select the trap that I want to set up. So again, I'm just going to put a filter on the enterprise number. Click query. And the one I want to pick is this one, which is UPS recovery. Click OK. Click OK. So now to test it. So I'm going to go to alarm, real-time alarms. We can see we haven't got any in here. I'm now going to generate the first trap. So that's going to be, take these out and save. I'm just going to go back to the server and I'm going to generate it. Okay, so there's the trap coming in. Now I'm going to send in the fix. And there we go. So the fix has come in and has cleared the failure. And that concludes this session. Thank you.